Welcome to the Australian Open.
Oh, that's a beauty. Oh, what an athlete!
All right, folks, welcome back to the Slice. This is a live version of our quarterfinal preview prediction kind of mashup. I'm super excited because there's so much opportunity and there's new looks in the quarterfinal, mainly because Djokovic isn't here, as we've said, and as everyone knows. But there's just so much opportunity. We got two Canadians in the quarterfinals. We got Nadal. We got Medvedev, who look both kind of unstoppable. We got Gael Monfils just playing amazing tennis. Hasn't dropped a set in this tournament. Like, what is this? What's going on? Is this going to be his first ever like major at like 34 or whatever he is? We got Berrettini playing well. We got Yannick Sinner playing well. We got Tsitsipas in the quarterfinals as well. So welcome to the show. If you're new here, obviously hit the subscribe button. That's legendary. Click the like and consider joining the channel. If you join the channel during the streams that we do, which tonight, by the way, we have a live stream of the Nadal Shapovalov match. You get special perks, special emoticons, custom emoticons, and things like that. And you support the channel. So I really appreciate that. Let's get into it. I'll take some questions at the end of the show because we're going to just break down the draw, what happened in the fourth round, and take a look at these quarterfinal matchups. So just give me a second here as I'm doing this live to pull things up. But man, it's, like I said, super exciting, I would say, quarterfinals. So just looking at them here, we've got what happened. So on the top, we got Gael Monfils versus Matteo Berrettini. And now we thought Berrettini would be there, but we obviously thought it was going to be Djokovic there instead of Monfils. But things have happened. International politics have come to play. And Gael Monfils has ripped through that top quarter without even dropping a set. So that's crazy. He beat Kecmanovic in 3. Berrettini beat Carreño Busta in 3 as well in the fourth round. So now they're going to meet each other. And the crazy part about that is that they played in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open, if you guys remember, in 2019, I think. And it was a weird match where neither guy could like really get over the line, really insert their best tennis in. It was very nervy, very kind of like what's going to happen here. And Berrettini ended up winning that. So he actually has a 2-0 head-to-head against Monfils. But Berrettini has looked, I guess he's taken more damage in this tournament so far because Alcaraz, they went to 5 sets. So it's going to be interesting to see what Monfils can do. Obviously, he's got power and he's got the athleticism. Berrettini's kind of got like ultimate power. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. But I got a hard time calling that one. I'm obviously going to be leaning Berrettini because he's the higher ranked player. He's had a better last year, but Monfils is a gamer and he's on some type of form run. So love to see that from Lamont, one of the nicest guys in tennis. Before we get into the other streams as well, or into the other things, I just have to remind you that the Slice, our Australian Open coverage, is brought to you by our friends at TopCourt. You can become a GOAT by watching Nick Kyrgios's most recent course that's gone up there. TopCourt, if you didn't know, is an e-learning platform where it's basically like Netflix, but just tennis players telling you how they play, how they train, drills that you can do, and just really cool behind the scenes videos where you get to know them better. And you can get a free 14-day trial to just watch all the videos and delete your account if you want at the link below in our description. So check that out. Supports the Slice big time. Now, let's get back to the matchup. So that's Berrettini, Monfils. If I had to make a prediction, I'm going to go Berrettini, like I said, but I think it's pretty open. That's maybe the least amount of like difference in level. I think that's like a pretty even quarterfinal matchup there. Going down next into Shapovalov versus Nadal. Now, this is a super interesting matchup because Nadal, I think one of the themes of this tournament is that obviously with Djokovic being out, I think every guy in the draw, including the fourth round, has believed way more that, oh man, I actually have like a chance of winning a major, because really there's like 1 or 2 guys in the draw who, if they were playing Djokovic in the semifinals or finals, might have some good belief that they would win that match. I would say Medvedev would have some belief, obviously, because he just did it in the U.S. Open in the final, beat him in 3 sets. And Nadal would have some belief as well, because obviously he's beaten him like over 20 times. And yes, he'd be the underdog on the surface. But other than that, I don't think any guys have really had realistic belief that they could do it. So now with Djokovic out, every guy's like, oh man, I could win my first major here. And I think that literally includes every player left in the draw might have had that thought. And I think that's what really hurt Alexander Zverev when he played Shapovalov. Shapovalov beat Zverev in 3 sets. Not a lot of people saw that coming, including me. Loved it though. Obviously, Shapovalov, our Canadian guy. Zverev, I think, was coming into that match being like, I believe I can win this major because Djokovic is out. Like I just said, I know I can beat Nadal, and I believe I can beat Zverev. And I feel like it was almost that pressure of like when back in 2009 when Nadal lost early at the French, and then Federer didn't have to play Nadal to win the French Open. He almost lost to Tommy Haas. He was actually down match point, I think, in the quarterfinal, and he had to hit like a winner on the line to like stay in the match, and then like end up winning that, and then he went through and ended up winning the French. So there's just added pressure when there's like almost like an easier path for you to win a tournament. I think that hit Zverev. I don't know. He was absolutely mentally off that day. Didn't play well at all. But he was also playing Shapovalov, who was playing super well and hitting the ball clean, super solid from the baseline and serving super well. So Shapovalov came through that, which was awesome. Nadal came through Mannarino. Interesting first set there, like crazy tiebreaker. But now you got Nadal and Shapovalov. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, so their head-to-head is 1-3, so 3-1 for Nadal. Last time Shapovalov beat him in a regular match was the 2017 National Bank Open in Montreal, which was obviously insanely epic. They had played a very close match, though, last year. I think it was in Madrid semifinals. I think Shapovalov actually had match points. And then they actually just played at the Mutabala Championships in the offseason, and Shapovalov won that match. But Nadal was like pretty rusty at that point, and he's played a lot more since then. So, but I do think this matchup is like more close than people might think. Like, I think it's not like Nadal versus Shapovalov like 2 years ago. Shapovalov like feels like he can beat anyone in the world, and Nadal is more vulnerable than he's definitely been in the past. I think especially on this surface. So keys to the match for Shapovalov is he has to the lefty to lefty, right? So their forehands will be going into one another, and in that forehand to forehand rally cross court, it's like a toss up because Shapovalov has one of the nastiest forehands in the game. Obviously, so does Nadal. But I think the real keys are going to be who serves better. Like if one of the guys only serves like 50% first serves in, the other guy serves like 65. I think that's going to be a massive differentiator. But also in the rallies, who can take the ball up the line with their forehands better, and I guess who defends on their backhand. Nadal's going to be a better defender on his backhand, but on the day, can Shapovalov slice? Can he like block it cross court and keep it deep when he's defending on his back, or can he just protect his backhand by not letting Nadal get there a lot? Nadal's obviously going to find ways to do that because he's got tons of experience. He's crafty. He's Nadal. But yeah, it's just I think it's a steep battle for Shapovalov, but it's also a very steep test for Nadal. It's not a walkover. You know what I mean? So prediction for that: heart says Shapovalov for the upset. Brain says Nadal, just from experience in big matches. But I wouldn't count out Shapovalov. And like I said, we're going to be watching that tonight on the Canadian live stream, which is going to be absolutely epic. So join us for that one. Moving on now to to where are we at? To the bottom half. We got Jannik Sinner versus Tsitsipas. Now, people had all these thoughts about Tsitsipas coming in. They're like, is he going to be healthy? Is he playing okay? And I wasn't able to stay up last night to watch him versus Fritz, but that's a crazy. Are they going to show the stats here if I click on this? That's a crazy match. 5-setter. Aces. Both guys served well. You can see there both guys had very similar stats. Ooh, Fritz only had 2 for 15 break points, so he had 15 break point chances. Wow. So anyways, that's pretty astounding. That is a 5-set match there, and that might have taken some gas out of Tsitsipas. And that might not matter if he was playing somebody less good, but Jannik Sinner is a bad man. And I'll tell you that for free because he is one of the hardest hitters on the tour. And I think he likes fast surfaces. I can't confirm that. I know Carlos Alcaraz does. But my thoughts on this match, Tsitsipas versus Sinner, is that will Sinner be able to rush Tsitsipas on the fast court? Because we know Tsitsipas doesn't like the faster courts like at Wimbledon. He's done well here at Australia before, so that's one thing to think about. It is hard court. He likes hard court. But I think Jannik, if he's hitting a really clean ball into Tsitsipas's backhand, because Jannik Sinner can go up the line change directions with his baseline strokes so easily, he can really hurt him. So I think I got Tsitsipas on upset alert, and I think this could be a very close match. Will be super good to watch. I think that's going to happen. I think that's going to happen on Tuesday, my time, Canadian time. Today's Monday. Shapovalov versus Nadal tonight. So then we got our last one. We got Felix Auger-Aliassime versus Daniil Medvedev. Medvedev, one of my favorite guys on tour. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Canadian golden boy. Felix beat Cilic last night. Cilic was playing, and then he kind of turned it on. Cilic played worse. Felix played better. Felix his serve has gotten super good in the last 2 matches. Been hitting a ton of aces, really been having his first serve plus forehand combination be super deadly. And that's when he's hitting his serve well, his first serve in, and following up with an aggressive forehand. It's world class. It's going to hurt anyone on tour. The person who it might hurt the least, unfortunately, is Daniil Medvedev. So the last 2 times they play, like I said, the head-to-head is not in favor. It's 2-0 or 3-0 for Medvedev. And the last 2 times they played, Medvedev's kind of destroyed Felix in the U.S. Open semifinals and then at the ATP Cup this year. So I don't know. I honestly just don't know. It feels like I'm game planning for someone playing Djokovic. Like I don't know how to make Medvedev really uncomfortable. I think you can be aggressive, and I think that's the plan for Felix. Like you have to like make him, like we saw actually Maxime Cressy 4 sets last night make Medvedev uncomfortable. Medvedev was going, this is so boring to play. So he's getting all pissed off that Cressy was serving volleying, and it was hilarious. And thought he had it tough. So I'd say to Felix, like, yeah, you have to serve well, I think. And if you can get free points off your serve, that's going to be great. Medvedev's going to stand way back, so it's going to be hard to do that. But I think if you can sneak in serve and volley at least once per service game, it's going to keep Medvedev thinking, and then use your forehand, big margins on it, hit powerful, but hit to space, and then just trust yourself coming forward. If you do come forward, but just trust yourself that you aren't going to miss. And then you just got to not miss, because Medvedev is going to be clean. He's going to frustrate you. It's almost like he put a spell on Felix at the U.S. Open and at the ATP Cup. So there you got it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below if you're watching this in the post live thing. Shout out to Chris DeSante, who has just become a member of the channel. That's epic. Thank you guys for the support. And let me take some questions right now live. I think this new live platform is pretty sick. Abelash says, Rafa 21 at AO 22 at FO, or 22 at FO. Calling it. Wow. Metatron says, Novak is best ever. Y'all going to be sorry in 10 years. Possibly. Again, shout out Chris DeSante, became a YouTube member. Legendary. Michael Walker says, Shapo problem is if game plan A isn't working, he don't have no game plan B. That is a fair point. And that's something that I've talked about with the Canadians for a while now. It's like you have to have a plan B, because if your plan A doesn't always work. And these experienced players like Rafa, they know how to win with plan A, plan B, and plan C. So yeah, if Shapo doesn't have his A game and he's shanking, he's got to go into grind mode and just try and grind down and out, because he's the younger guy. It's going to be played during the middle of the day. It's going to be hot out there. So if he can get Nadal running and just not miss, if he doesn't have his A game, he has to be able to drop down in gear and get there. You know what I mean? So that's a great point, Michael. Melis says Shapo is a fast court player. Arguably, AO is one of his weakest surfaces. Shapo, the AO is a fast surface, so I don't know. I think historically, yeah, he hasn't done the AO is a fast surface, so Shapo hasn't done here as historically well. This is his first quarterfinal in Melbourne, but I don't know. I like this surface for him playing Nadal for sure, because I think he's better on fast courts than Nadal is relatively. I think Nadal's still a better tennis player, obviously, but he's got more opportunity on a fast court than a slow court. Chris says, if Shapo yells, come on, at least 10 times, he wins. I like that. If he's fired up, he's got a better chance. I didn't watch this, but Rashid says, Fritz had it, man, on missed volley. Interesting. And then Mela says, what I think is AO is a weak surface for Nadal, almost as bad as indoor hard court. It's true. He doesn't have it. As he doesn't have the historical success. Obviously, he's only won here once, Still great, but for him, that's way less than other tournaments where he's won 13 times at the French Open. So let's be real. Chris says Felix did beat Medvedev in doubles a couple weeks ago. Hopefully, gives FAA enough confidence. That's true at the ATP Cup. Yeah, if I'm calling champion, I'm thinking Medvedev at this point. I think Medvedev's going to be able to pull through. I tweeted out last night. I just can't really see anyone beating Medvedev at this tournament. But then again, he can play. He can throw in a melon match, and he can just play not great. So you never know. People are saying it's an asterisk slam. It's not true. Unfortunately, there's no asterisks in tennis. Djokovic could have been here if he's just taken the vaccine. I understand him not wanting to, and I understand that it's super dusty that they gave him an exemption and let him fly all the way there and then mess around with him and sent him back. Yeah, brutal on all cases, not an asterisk slam. In 10 years, no one's going to really look at that, whoever wins it, Medvedev, and be like, oh, Novak wasn't there. They won't care. So it's going to be legit for whoever wins it. And honestly, I think all 8 guys could win it. Let's just take one more look here at the quarterfinals. It's like you're looking at, if we're looking at it like this, we got Gael Monfils, Berrettini. I mean, maybe Gael Monfils, I can't see winning it, but I could see Sinner beating Tsitsipas, getting to the semifinals, and then somehow playing amazing to beat Medvedev. Felix could just play out of his mind somehow, beat Medvedev, and then it's like, oh, I think Medvedev's the hardest player for Felix to beat in this draw. So there's just so much opportunity, and it's so fun, guys, isn't it? So anyways, join us tonight for the Canadian live stream. We got Shapovalov versus Nadal. It's a watch party. It was super fun when we watched Shapovalov beat Zverev. We always have guests on there, and it's a good time. Thank you for joining our channel, subscribing if that's all you can do, and liking this video. It helps out the channel lots. We will see you guys later tonight. Subscribe to the channel, be around us, and follow me on Twitter, as that's where I kind of give up-to-date thoughts on this. Does that sound good, folks? Are you ready for the quarterfinals at the Australian Open? Are you ready? I'm ready. It's going to be epic. This tournament is going to start really heating up, I think, and I can't wait to probably see a new champion crowned at the Australian Open. I'm just calling it. So anyways, that's the quarterfinal predictions for today. If you're watching this after, leave your predictions in the comment section below, and we will see you tonight on the live stream.